exploring the magic of chemistry, food science, and all of the amazing things happening in your kitchen right around you every single day. Today, we're going to be exploring an ingredient that you might be familiar with. It's small, it's potent, a cousin of the onion, and a little often goes a long way. If you guessed garlic, then you guessed right. This versatile ingredient is found in meat marinades all the way to Texas toast, and many things in between. There's a lot of really interesting things going on with this little ingredient that you may not know of. So today, we're going to do a deep dive on garlic and hopefully show you something new. So let's go have some fun. Come on.
So what exactly is garlic? Well, you've got a whole big bulb right here, and inside there's individual cloves. And interestingly enough, its usage dates back all the way to ancient Egypt. Now, historically, we all think of garlic as being used as a seasoning, which it has been used for many centuries. But in addition to that, it's also been used as a medicinal compound. Another fun fact you may not know is that at times up to 80% of the world's supply of garlic was grown by our neighbors in China. And lastly, we always see this bulb whenever we go to the store, but when garlic's growing, it actually has a stalk on it, known as a scape, that can be up to 3 feet tall. You don't believe me about it being that big? Well, I'll show you. Come check it out. Okay, so that scape I was talking about is this right here. Now, it's not quite 3 feet tall yet because we're still early in the growing cycle, but eventually this is gonna go from here, probably about all the way up to here on me, starting to make me look small. Now, the scape is this green portion of the plant. Now, typically you're not gonna see this on garlic because you're probably most familiar with seeing it in the store and this bulb form. And right now that's actually growing underground. So the scape is responsible for absorbing sunlight and carbon dioxide, and it combines that with the water and nutrients that are taken up by the roots. And together through photosynthesis, the garlic generates sugars that the plant needs to grow. And down below, the bulb starts growing sister cloves to form that big cluster that you're so familiar with. So now that you've seen a little bit about garlic, you might be wondering, where the heck did I find a whole thing of garlic? No, I'm not in the middle of woods anywhere. I actually volunteer at a local community farm, Fairgate Farm. And I just want to share with you a little bit about their mission because I just think it's really so great. They are a federally funded charter farm that has a grant, and their mission is to grow 100% organic produce for low-income residents in their community. So not only does this help people eat a little bit healthier in the sense that there's no pesticides and everything's organic, but it also helps them eat in season. So when you're eating something in season, you're eating the produce when it's at its optimal nutritional value. And in doing so, they're helping better the community. And it also is a great way for people to come volunteer and learn a little bit about farming, a little bit about gardening. So if you happen to be in the Stamford, Connecticut area, I highly recommend you come check it out. It's really a good time. So now that you've seen a little bit about garlic and you've seen the scape, I'm gonna have to tell you guys, we gotta come back when they start drying this and braiding it. It's a really cool thing to see. But now that you've seen this little bit, let's get back to the kitchen. Come on. So for reference, the main body of the garlic is called the bulb, while each small separable piece is known as a clove. A useful fact to know when following a recipe. If you've ever tasted garlic, then you're very familiar with its potent, spicy flavor that is quite delicious. Also, you may know that your sense of taste primarily comes from your sense of smell. Well, if you pick up an intact clove of garlic and go to smell it, you might find it really doesn't have much of an odor to it. So why is that? Well, there's a chemical called allicin responsible for garlic's unique smell and ultimately its flavor. However, it doesn't exist in the clove, yet. Well, what exactly do I mean by that? Well, it turns out that the garlic's flavor comes from a chemical reaction. You see, there are two molecules inside the garlic, allene and allinase, that are normally separated. Within each cell of the plant wall is the allene, while the allinase exists between the cells and the extracellular matrix. Normally, they don't interact, but when the garlic is minced, crushed, or chewed, those barriers separating the two are broken down and these compounds interact to undergo a series of chemical reactions. This reaction occurs because the allinase acts as a catalyst, converting the allene into allicin. Lastly, as your body metabolizes garlic, a compound you're already familiar with, allyl methyl sulfide, yep, it's the one responsible for garlic breath, gets absorbed into the blood and is then released through the skin via pores and by the lungs via the breath. That's why it's such a hard stench to quench, because it comes from within. So a few pointers out there for all of you who are dating or in relationships. That pesky garlic breath can obviously be a problem. So a few things that you can do to help offset some of that odor are to drink a liquid that contains some fat, such as milk, or consume some fruit that oxidizes, or as you might more commonly know it, it'll turn brown when it's exposed to air. And some things that are helpful there are apples, green tea, or maybe even some lemon juice. So the allicin itself, funnily enough, actually has some really powerful medicinal properties, such as being an antifungal, antiviral, and antibacterial. So just a quick note that if you're gonna neutralize that pesky garlic breath, you also might be neutralizing some of those health benefits by altering the sulfur-containing bonds in the allicin itself. But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. Don't get kept with garlic breath. Keep it classy, guys. Now let's get to cooking. I'm really excited to share these next two gadgets with you as they're two of my all-time favorites. This is a Joseph garlic roller, and this is a Next Trend garlic twist. Now, if you've ever tried peeling garlic by hand, trying to get the skin off, you'll know is a very smelly and sticky process that can leave your fingers with a stench for a while. In addition to that, if you go to using a traditional garlic press, sometimes you have to squeeze really hard. It can hurt your fingers, and a lot of times you actually lose a lot of garlic inside the press itself. Well, these two gadgets are great solutions to both of those problems. Let me show you how they work. So we'll start here with the garlic roller, and it's really simple. It's just a silicone sleeve, and you work by unrolling it and gently placing in an individual clove of garlic. Now we'll just roll the roller back up, get it nice and snug, and we'll put one hand down with the other to brace and just firmly press and roll. And just like that, the skin comes right off the garlic. So now we have a nice naked clove that we can either put to the side or inside our twist, and it's ready to go. Now the other thing that's really nice is that this roller cleans up really easy. The skin comes right out just by tapping. Now we'll just repeat with another clove. So now that we're going to look here at the garlic twist itself, there's a set of serrated teeth on each side, one on the bottom plate and one on the top. And they interlock just like this when you put them together. It's that easy. So now we'll take our cloves of garlic, and normally you probably do maybe one or two at a time, but in this case I'm going to show you this thing can handle all the way up to 4, no problem. So we'll just load them right in, we'll put the top on, and it takes just a little bit of pressure. And for dramatic effect, I like to think of someone that's really frustrated me, you're doing taxes and really grunt it out. Makes it a little bit easier, but it's really not too hard. And as you press down and twist, it gets easy. You just go back and forth, just like that. And with a few more twists of the garlic twist itself, we end up getting a nice, fine minced garlic that is ready to go in any recipe. See how easy that is? Now, you can use a fork on the top plate to just get any residual garlic off the flat side or between the teeth, which is pretty simple to do and can put it into a bowl. And on the bottom, we can do the same thing, but it comes out much easier, just one big chunk from the fork. Again, we can just go between the teeth with the fork to get anything that's left over, but it's really that simple. And the thing that's so great about these is they're dishwasher safe and they clean up super easy. All right, let's get to cooking. Okay, and now that the dish is more or less ready, you can grab your bread right back out of the oven. It'll be nice and hot and toasty to serve everything on. And then essentially, you're ready to start plating. So this is just one idea of what I tried here. I used 3 pieces of bread that just kind of create a little design, and then obviously you just start spooning out some of what you want on top of there, try to keep it nice and neat. And then, of course, which is really important because this is where a lot of the flavor is, you really want to make sure you get some of that delicious sauce spooned out over top of it. So just make sure you get some of that on there to really get the flavor. So now comes my favorite part, the time to eat. The smell of the white wine and the garlic going together, oh, it's just so good. If you ever make this, you'll get to experience it for yourself. And then the thing that I really like about this dish is it's really simple, it's not hard to make, and if you're really looking to impress someone on a date night or you have company coming over, it's just a great one to have in your arsenal. So anyway, I really hope that you've enjoyed this episode of ChemKitchen, and that when it comes to garlic, we've given you some food for thought. Until next time, take good care. Thank you so much for tuning in, and remember, dream big, create even bigger. Bye for now.